Am I audible and visible? Do let me know. Am I audible and visible? Good evening everyone. How are you all? And how is your preparation going on? I'm good. How is ठंडा at your side? ठंडा है वहाँ पर? कैसी चल रही है आप लोगों की प्रिपरेशन? I'm okay. Health is fine, but preparation. Health is not good, not so good, fine, but preparation is good. Night presentation is going. अच्छा. How you are dealing your paper one? यहाँ तो स्नोफॉल हो रहा है. कहाँ पे रहते हैं आप? वहाँ पे स्नोफॉल हो रहा है. कहाँ रहते हैं आप जहाँ स्नोफॉल हो रहा है? चलिए आज कल्चरल स्टडीज़ कंप्लीट किया जाए और ये सारा PYQs है. कश्मीर, वाह, नाइस. I am from Jharkhand. Okay. So today we'll be completing our cultural studies and I'll try to complete in this entire cultural studies in one video. And if you get any doubt, you can ask me. So without any delay, let's get started. Hey all the future assistant professors, welcome back to English Minglish by Pooja Singh. Today we are going to complete our cultural studies in one video. It is very unfair to say this in one video, but yeah, we'll be doing all the PYQs that has been asked. And I have not mentioned the EOs, but I have done a lot of research and I have done everything. हमारे यहाँ भी बहुत ठंडा है. Fog प्लस स्मॉग हो गया है यहाँ पे. बहुत ज़्यादा डस्ट है यहाँ. ठीक है. So let's start. The very first question, and I'll be giving you like 10 seconds for each one. And okay. So definitions of culture. Assertion is that culture is one of the 2 or 3 most complicated words in the English language. And what is the reason given? This is mainly because several different, though related meanings have emerged at a particular moment throughout its long history. Now do answer. Culture is what? Culture is one of the 2 or 3 most complicated words in the. What do you think culture क्या होता है? आप लोग आंसर कीजिए. I will talk about culture. Okay. कल्चर क्या होता है? इफ़ यू थिंक कि सिर्फ एक प्री डिफाइंड नोशन हो जाता है तो सिर्फ वो कल्चर है, नहीं. कल्चर इज़ एवरीथिंग. कल्चर इज़ द वे यू आर टॉकिंग, द कल्चर द वे आई एम टीचिंग. कल्चर इज़ द वे अंबानीज do their weddings. Culture is what Nepal movement, Gen Z movement, in Nepal we say that was culture. Everything around your way is culture. It's not just about the word culture, it's not about one thing, it is so many interdisciplinary related, right? And why this is mainly because several different though related meanings have emerged at a particular moment throughout its long history. Okay, so this is very it's not easy. You just cannot say कि culture is defined with English only. No, culture is associated with sociology, culture is associated with psychology, culture is associated with all the interdisciplinary words. Okay, so the correct answer is A. Both A and are true, and the correct because the statement, and this is the famous statement made by whom? Made by Raymond Williams in his book Keywords, and he argued that culture is a complex because its meaning shifted from the trending crops to animals cultivation to the cultivation of the mind, and finally to whole way of life for a group of society. And we know Culture means it is associated with everything. You name it, the fooding, the clothing, the fashion, the malls, everything comes under the umbrella term culture. Okay. Now moving forward to question number 2. You might have saw this question multiple times. So which of the following is not true about Raymond Williams' views on culture? So you have to be very particular on these things. True, only correct, not correct. These are the things that you have to keep in mind. Okay, and so many you of must have seen the answer, because I just answer ho gaya tha. Culture is ordinary. We all know culture is a whole way of life. We just read. There exist at least 3 layers of culture at a given point of a time, and we know that is the dominant, residual, and emergent. So what does not true is about the masses. How can masses not participate? हम और आप अगर participate नहीं करेंगे, it is not about the creation of cultural values. We, I, and you becomes we, and that's how we create the culture. Okay, so he argued that culture is ordinary and his meaning is created by every person through their daily life experience. We have talked about it, and he rejected the elitist idea that culture only belongs to the high arts, or that the masses are passive consumers without energy. अगर आपको क्या लगता है, अगर सिर्फ अंबानी से जिंदा रहें, अंबानी से ही रहें, अगर सपोज लेट्स टॉक अबाउट अ प्लैनेट, कि ये अंबानी का प्लैनेट हो गया, ठीक है, अंबानी के प्लैनेट पे सिर्फ अंबानी रहेंगे, और हम जैसे लोगों में अगर मास वहाँ नहीं रहे, क्या अंबानीज को वो वैल्यू मिलेगा? क्या अंबानीज अपना जो सुपर एक्स्ट्राफिलेंट वेल्थ है वो वहाँ पे शोकेस कर सकेंगे? क्या उनका वेडिंग वहाँ पे कोई दिखेगा? अगर वो प्लैनेट पे सिर्फ अकेले रह रहे हैं, तो देर इज़ नो यूज़ ऑफ मासेस, दैट विल नॉट कम अंडर. तो वही बोल रहा है कि एलिटिस्ट पीपल को हम वो नहीं बोलेंगे कि सिर्फ वो लोग जी रहे हैं तो सिर्फ हाई कल्चर नहीं. अगर हम लोग नहीं देखेंगे, उनका रील्स हम लोग नहीं देखेंगे, उनका डायमंड स्टडेड बैग नहीं देखेंगे, उनका वंतारा का जो इतना भी बैग्स पब्लिश्ड हो वो नहीं देखेंगे, तो हम लोग ही उस चीज़ को बना रहे हैं. दैट्स वेयर हेजिमनी कम्स, राइट? कि आप कंसेंट दे रहे हो कि हाँ आप हमारे पे रूल करो. वी आर गिविंग कंसेंट कि हाँ आप अपना वेल्थ हम लोग को दिखाइए, एंड दैट्स वेयर वी आर गोइंग टू फॉलो देम ब्लाइंडली, कि हमारे पास भी उतना पैसा होगा, देन वी ऑल्सो विल शो ऑफ. ठीक है. Now moving forward to question number 3. The subject matter of cultural studies as it emerged as a proto-discipline in the 1960s वो predominantly exploration of, क्या हो गया? क्लास टॉप हो गई क्या? नहीं, क्लास टॉप नहीं हो गई है. Am I audible and visible to everyone? Please let me know once. Okay. So the subject matter of cultural studies as it emerged as a proto-discipline in the 1960s was predominantly exploration of. It is exploration of popular culture. And early, when you talk about the early cultural studies, the Birmingham School broke away the traditional literary studies by focusing on what? Popular culture and the culture of everyday people, like including television, fashion, and music, rather than just high culture. And this comes under the classic literature or the fine arts. When you're talking about the popular culture, they go for the art, they go for Greece, they go for Italy, just to taste the what art and what culture belongs through. ठीक है. Now moving forward to question number 4. ठीक है. According to Stuart Hall, which of these generally accepted to be true of cultural studies as it was practiced at the University of Birmingham in the UK? It sought to strengthen the barrier between high culture and low culture. It sought to privilege the study of the text at the cost of context. It could accommodate the study of the lives of working class people. It sought to promote readings based on the social and the political context. It was essentially apolitical. Now you have to say which of these is generally accepted to be true of cultural studies. It's correct. It's C and D. Why? Because it was never the barrier between the high. No, they were not talking about that. When we are talking, how can you text at the cost of context? No, this was never the point. No, this is wrong. This is wrong. Yes, this was because when we are talking about the culture and everything, it is talking about the working class people, and it was a promote to reading on the social and the political context. When we are talking about the political context here, we cannot say here apolitical. So C and D is the correct answer. And as you all know, Stuart Hall, CCCS, a lot of time it has been asked, because there in one question it is written political, and the next statement it is apolitical, so it is contradicting each other. Okay. Cultural focused on the working class emphasize that culture cannot be separate from its social and the political context. They aim to break down the barriers between high and low, not to strengthen them. उनको वो barrier मिटाना था, ना कि उनको वो तेज करना था. ठीक है. Now this is the favorite type of UGC NET question. You have to identify the key text and the authors. Richard Hoggart, Ashish Nandy, Raymond Williams, E.P. Thompson. The uses of literacy, the secrets, politics of our desire, the long revolution, the making of the English work class. What will be the answer? Richard Hoggart, Ashish Nandy. What will be the answer? I'm curious to know the answer. Wow, you cracked the code. Actually, I have written the answer in front of that so that it would not require बहुत ज़्यादा परेशानी. ऐसे देख देख के करना पड़ता है. So Richard Hoggart, the uses of literacy. Ashish Nandy, that is the secret politics of our desires. Raymond Williams, everybody's know, the long revolution. And E.P. Thompson, the making of the English working class. Okay. So these four texts are what? These are the foundational to cultural studies. Richard Hoggart founded the CCCS. Raymond Williams provided the theoretical framework. And E.P. Thompson work established the importance of history and class from below. Okay. Now moving forward to question number 6. Now arrange the following works of Richard Hoggart in the correct chronological sequence. So आपको works को chronological sequence में करना है. An imagined life, the uses of literacy, higher education, demand and response, a local habitation, a sort of cloning. Its answer is B, C, D, E, A. So here the very first one is An Imagined Life 1992. Then comes the uses of literacy 1957. Then higher education and demand and response 1971. A local habitation 1988. And a sort of cloning 1990. Okay. Now moving forward to the next, and okay, yes, the Richard Hoggart's career began with the most famous work, that the uses of literacy. We know him as the uses of literacy, and his later works includes the educational critiques and the multi-volume autobiography. Now again, here are the theorists and here are the concept. Antonio Gramsci, pure body, Dec Hebdig, Raymond Williams, hegemony, cultural capital, subculture and popular culture. So the very first answer, question number 7. Question number 7. Question number 7. It is 2. And here also I have written the correct answer. Antonio Gramsci, hegemony. Pure body, cultural capital. Dick Hebdig's subculture and Raymond Williams' popular culture. Please remember them. They are very important. And if you haven't gone through their works, please have a look over their works. ठीक है? ये आना ही आना है. हमेशा आता है. So Gramsci's concept of hegemony explains how ruling classes maintain power through culture. अब अंबानी जाता है, बोलता है कि हमको आर्ट बहुत पसंद है, तो वो अपना कल्चर दिखा रहा है, अपना कल्चर शो ऑफ कर रहा है. फिर बॉर्डियो कैपिटल looks at how social status is maintained through knowledge and taste. Dick Hebdig is famous for his work on the youth subculture like punks, right? Now moving forward to question number 8, very easy one, everybody's know, so we will not be wasting our time. So CCCS stands for Center for Contemporary Cultural Studies. This is the birthplace. It was established in 1964 and it is considered as the birthplace of British cultural studies as an academic field. Okay. Now moving forward to question number 9. Who of the founding figures of the school of thought now known as British Cultural Studies? Who of the founding figures of the school thought now known as British Cultural Studies? Raymond Williams, Walter Benjamin, Stephen Greenblatt, and Helen Tiffin. The correct answer is Raymond Williams. Why you are making wrong answer? We just had that he was one of the founding figures. Please. This is very important. British Cultural Studies was primarily established by the founding fathers called Richard Hoggart, who founded it. Stuart Hall, its influential director. Raymond Williams, whose theoretical work provides academic fields for the discipline. Okay. I cannot make my window a little bit bigger, then question will not be appear. Question number 10. In the long revolution, Raymond Williams conducted a long-range study of 350 canonical writers drawn from the Oxford Introduction to English Literature for which period? Good evening, Janvi. So now in the long revolution, which period did the long range study of three canonical drawn from this? Correct answer is 1746 to 1939. So they love to ask about the facts and figures. They're very important. Okay. Now moving forward, so in this seminal text, Raymond Williams analyzes how the social history of writers and the social character of British reading public, focusing specifically on the period between 1764 to 1939 to track changes how in the cultural production happens. Can you see the level of NTA? They are increasing their level day by day. Now moving forward to question number 11. Which of these generally taken to be true of cultural studies? क्या सही होता है? It is politically engaged, it privileges text over context, it has symbolic relationship with formalism, it studies the means of production of a text. Which of these taken to be true of cultural studies? A and B, A and C, A and D, or B and D? So I have answered it A and D. So yes, it is politically engaged and also it has a symbolic relationship with the formalism. Okay, A and D. Cultural studies is known for the politically engaged, seeking to understand dynamics, power dynamics, rather than being a neutral academic exercise. This means कि they are just not only concerned with कि हमें relationship बनाना है या फिर we are a ruling power. We have to be in the power dynamics because अगर जब तक आप सत्ता में नहीं रहते हैं तब तक लोग आपकी बात नहीं सुनते हैं, है ना? People don't follow you. The moment you have power, people will do everything what you say. So that what it's emphasizing, and it rejects formalism by emphasizing context over text, and explores how culture manufactured and knows the means of a production. So this is very important. Now moving forward to question number 12. Which of the following works were written by the cultural theorist Stuart Hall? Encoding and Decoding, The Rediscovery of Ideology, Return of the Repressed in Media Culture and the Communication Studies, The Raw and the Cooked, What is Digital Humanities, Cultural Industry. मैम आज कितने क्वेश्चंस हो जाएंगे? लेट्स सी. पहले PYQs कर लेंगे, उसके बाद बेस्ड ऑन PYQs या फिर एक्सपेक्टेड बोल सकते हैं या फिर प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चन बोल सकते हैं वो. बट अभी टॉप 30 विल बी PYQs एंड देन विल सी कि उसमें आगे बढ़ना है कि नहीं बढ़ना है. If you people will be interested, we'll go forward. If you will not be interested, we'll not take the class. So the correct answer is A and B. We all know Encoding and Decoding, Stuart Hall, and The Rediscovery of Ideology, Return of the Repressed Media. Okay. And the raw and here also the raw and the cooked is by Claude Levi-Strauss, and the cultural industry is a concept by Adorno or Horkheimer. So please remember this also. Now question number 13. Which of these questions would cultural studies be most interested in asking? अगर कल्चरल स्टडीज को पूछना होता, what would be they would be interested in? Who decides what is to be produced? Who can afford the artifact? How is the artifact marketed? And what is the register of speech in the artifact? A, B, C, A, C, D, and B, C, and D, A, B, and D. Blue Humanities by Stephen Mensch. So the correct answer is 1, that is A, B, C. Obviously, when you're talking about the cultural studies, we want to know who is deciding and what is to be produced. That's directly related to high culture. Who can afford the artifact? They are talking about the culture, the working class people, and how is the artifact marketed. And again, these marketing policies and the power dynamics comes in, right? So it is about the economic life and the socio-political life. We know questions about production, accessibility class, commercialization, the advertisement thing are central, and purely linguistic questions like the register of speech are more of the domain of the linguistic or the formal literary criticism. Sorry. Now, question number 14. Match the term concept with the inventor or the coined by the. Then objectivism, pathetic fallacy, sprung rhythm, structures of feeling. Carlos Williams, John Ruskin, G.M. Hopkins, Raymond Williams. So since Raymond Williams was here, I thought it to keep this question in cultural studies. Now you have, hacked the code, right? Yes, the correct answer is 4. This is just for the, sake of convenience. So objectivism, Carlos William, pathetic fallacy, John Ruskin, sprung rhythm, G.M. Hopkins, and structures of feeling, that is Raymond Williams. So structure of a feeling is a key Raymond Williams concept describing the lived experience of a particular time, place before it formed ideology. Ruskin coined the pathetic fallacy in the 19th century, and the Hopkins, everybody knows for the sprung rhythm in the poetry. Now question number 15. Okay, I was kidding. Cultural studies is simply the study of culture as a discrete entity divorced from its social and political context. Reason they are giving: cultural studies aim to understand culture in all its complex forms and to analyze the social political context within which it manifests itself. The correct answer is A is false and R is true. Why? Because they are saying culture as a discrete entity divorced from it. No, how can we are talking about culture, and culture cannot be without social and political context. We are talking about that. Yes, it is. And yeah, and here it is saying about social and political. So these you have to understand, they are very written in very normal, very understanding level, बहुत नॉर्मल फॉर्म में लिखा हुआ है, और आपको ये देखना है कि सेम चीज लिखा हुआ है, एक सही होगा एक गलत होगा, थोड़ा सा ध्यान लगा के पढ़ना है, सब सही हो जाना है. द असर्शन इज फॉल्स बिकॉज कभी वो ट्रीट नहीं किया एज अ डिस्क्रीट एंटिटी. इट इज वेरी फाउंडेशन टू द बिलीफ ऑफ कल्चर, कैन नॉट बी अंडरस्टूड अपार्ट फ्रॉम द. ओके, मूविंग फॉरवर्ड टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 16. Culture is one of the 2 or 3 most complicated words in English language. This is mainly because several different though related meanings have emerged at a particular moments throughout its long history. I think we have done this question. Yeah, we have done. This is the first one. Both A and true and R is the correct explanation. We have talked about it. Okay. Now moving forward to question number 17. I think this is also we have done. This is done. I have done. Yeah. Question number 19. Which of the following statements explain Raymond Williams' concept of culture? Culture includes both material and non-material practices. Culture is limited to elite artistic production. Culture must be understood as a lived experience. Culture functions independently of economic structures. So the correct answer for this is A. 1 and 3 we know material के बारे में बात होता है और नॉन मटेरियल के भी बात होता है. एंड येस, ये सबका लिव्ड एक्सपीरियंस के बारे में समझना चाहिए. इट इज नॉट ओनली लिमिटेड टू एलिट या फिर नोबल क्लास, और ये इंडिपेंडेंटली कभी काम नहीं कर सकता बिना इकोनॉमिक स्ट्रक्चर्स के. ठीक है, मूविंग फॉरवर्ड टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 20. मैथ्यू आर्नोल्ड्स आइडिया ऑफ कल्चर इज बेस्ड ऑन द assumptions that culture refines moral and intellectual life. Popular culture dilutes social discipline. Culture should challenge class hierarchies. Culture preserves social order through excellence. Choose the correct option. The correct answer is D. Very good. 1, 2 and 4. Here culture should challenge class hierarchies. No, it is not written and he has not mentioned like that. Yeah, we have talked about the moral and intellectual life, how popular culture dilutes social discipline. Obviously they are diluting. What is the reels 30 seconds format? What they are doing, they are diluting our mind. A study shows that कि जितना स्मोकिंग और ड्रिंकिंग से खराब नहीं होता दिमाग, उतना एक रील्स देखने से खराब हो गया है. ठीक है, नाउ मूविंग फॉरवर्ड टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 21. According to Stuart Hall's encoding and decoding model, meaning is fixed by the producer. Audiences actively interpret media texts. Ideology operates through representation. All audience decodes message uniformly. C, B, B. The correct answer is B. 2 and 3. Yes, he's talking about the audiences and he is talking here what it is here कि uniformly नहीं, सारे लोग एक जैसा मैसेज नहीं फॉलो. I'll just give an example. Think of a cup और think of a dog. क्या जो हम कप और जिस डॉग के बारे में सोच रहे हैं, क्या आप वो सेम सोच सकते हो ना? I'll give you the example of my cup. My cup is steel cup. स्टील कप है जिसमें ठंडी के टाइम में चाय पीने से चाय गर्म रहती है. तो आई एम थिंकिंग ऑफ दैट स्टील कप. हैव यू ऑल थॉट ऑफ दैट स्टील कप व्हेन आई सेड कप? एंड आई एम थिंकिंग ऑफ डॉग ऑफ Bhero, the one who lives at my home. He's a street dog. So have you thought the same thought to how all audience can decode messages uniformly? No, it is not. And this is also an example of that all there have no direct meaning. There is no direct meaning. There is no direct context to it. Is an interdisciplinary method. और कभी भी मैसेज डायरेक्ट नहीं हो सकता है. द मीनिंग इज आर्बिट्रेटरी. ठीक है. सो दिस इज द एग्जाम्पल. क्वेश्चन नंबर 22. Antonio Gramsci concept of hegemony suggests that power is maintained through cohesion alone. Consent is central to cultural dominance. Intellects play a role in maintaining ideology, and culture is irrelevant to political authority. Yes, arbitrary. Okay. So Antonio Gramsci concept of hegemony suggests that cohesion alone, consent, intellectual, cultural is irrelevant. The correct answer is A. 2 and 3. Yes, the very word consent here is written, it is correct. And here intellectual plays a role in maintaining culture is irrelevant. No, it is not irrelevant, and it is not cohesion alone. So 2 and 3 is the correct answer. Moving forward to the next question. Louis Althusser distinguishes ideological state apparatus from repressive state apparatus because ISAs function primarily through ideology. RSAs function through physical force. Education is an ISA and media is a repressive state apparatus. Now these are the options. What do you think? One, 2 and 3. Correct answer, it is 1, 2 and 3, because when they are talking about ideological, yes, it is being done by ideologies. And when we talk about the repressive state apparatus, it done by the physical force. And yes, education is an ideological state apparatus. Media is not an repressive state apparatus. Okay. Now moving forward to question number 24. Have you solved all these type of questions in your mock or your PYQs? Have you solved all these? Everyone? Frederick Jameson's understanding of postmodern culture includes depthlessness of cultural texts, nostalgia as a dominant aesthetic mode, detachment from capitalism, cultural logic of late capitalism. Now I would also tell you to go and watch that hardest chronology. I have just made that video. I have uploaded also. You can go and watch that. 10 questions are there from June 2025 PYQ. You will see that question. You will understand that what type of questions they are particularly forming, because when you are solving 100 questions, you don't pay that much attention to that particular. So please go and watch that hardest chronology. It is just of 10 questions. You can go and you will find all type of chronology there. So answer question number 24. Answer is 1, 2 and 4. Correct. Why? Because detachment from capitalism, no, it is not about how can you, when you are living in a culture, when you're living in a society, and capitalism is one of the major thing that is happening, everything is surrounding with that thing. Market, demand, supply, money, society, culture, everything is revolving around that money only, right? So you cannot detach it from your capitalism. Moving forward to question number 25. Which statements correctly describe popular culture? It is mass consumed and media driven. It always resists dominant ideology. It is commercially produced. It exists outside power structures. The correct answer is A. The correct answer is A, 1 and 3. It is mass consumed and media driven, and it is commercially produced, and it does not exist outside power structures. No, always think of extremes. Extremes जहाँ रहेगा वो गलत है. It will look very normal. ठीक है. Now moving forward to question number 26. Cultural materialism emphasizes the relationship between culture and economic conditions. Literature is autonomous from history. Power relation embedded in cultural texts. Universal aesthetic standards. Now what does that means? L. L. What is L? No options are there of L. Cultural materialism emphasizes the relationship between. What is the correct answer? The correct answer is A. Very good. 1 and 3. It is a relationship between culture and economic condition and the power relations embedded in the cultural text. Literature, no, it is not only from history, and universal aesthetic standards, no, it is not that. Now moving forward to question number 27. Which of the following characterize counterculture? Opposition to dominant values, reinforcement of hegemonic norms, alternative lifestyles and beliefs, total rejections of cultural identity. Question number 27. Question number 27. And this all has been the PYQs. The correct answer is A, 1 and 3 only. Opposition, yes, it is because it is counter culture. आप culture को कैसे counter कर रहे हो? So it is opposition to the dominant values, and it is alternative to the lifestyles and the beliefs. It is not total rejections of the culture and identity and the reinforcement. So you have to look out for the words which are true and which shows the extremes. So look out for the words, because in the examination hall, your words are going to help you. Question number 28. The Birmingham School of Culture Studies emphasizes interdisciplinary methods, class-based analysis of culture, culture as politically neutral, and media as a site of ideological struggle. Options are 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, all. Correct answer is A, 1, 2 and 4. 1, 2 and 4. It is not politically neutral. ठीक है, ये politically neutral नहीं है. Rest all the statements are true. Question number 28. Baudrillard's concept of sign value suggests that commodities serve only, I have given the answer, serve only practices, so it acquires meaning through social symbols. Obviously जो sign value होता है वो क्या commodities को क्या suggest करता है? It suggests that they acquire meaning through the social symbols. Moving forward to question number 29. Cultural homogenization refers to what? Cultural resistance, hybrid identities, global similarity of lifestyle, revival of folk tradition. Homogenization refers to what? Cultural homogenization refers to what? It is the global similarity. Homogenization समझिए, similar, same रहना, ठीक है. तो इसी का वो बोलता है, ठीक है. मूविंग फॉरवर्ड टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 30. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट अ फीचर ऑफ मास कल्चर. मास कल्चर का फीचर क्या नहीं है? इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोडक्शन, कमर्शियल ओरिएंटेशन, एलीट पैट्रनेज, मीडिया डिसेमिनेशन. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट अ फीचर ऑफ मास कल्चर. Which of the following is not a feature of mass culture? Industrial production, commercial orientation, elite patronage, or media dissemination. The correct answer for that is C, elite patronage. Industrial production होता है, commercial orientation होता है, media elite patronage क्या होता है? ये सब तो राजा महाराजा के ज़माना में हुआ करता था, ठीक है. Representation according to Stuart Hall is what? Reflection of reality, construction of meanings, neutral description या fixed interpretation. Representation according to Stuart Hall is construction of meaning. Okay. Moving forward to question number 32. Which theorist connects surveillance with modern power structures? Which theorist connects surveillance with modern power structures? Gramsci, Althusser, Foucault, Williams. Correct, it's none other than Foucault. William Michael Foucault. Now, the concept of organic intellects belong to. The concept of organic intellectuals belongs to Williams, Gramsci, Hall, Jameson. It is Antonio Gramsci. Question number 34. F.R. Leavitt viewed mass culture as what? Democratic, morally enriching, debased and commercial, or political radical. How did he see mass culture as? The correct answer is C, debased and commercial. Okay. Now moving forward to question number 35. Hybridization of culture implies what? Cultural purity, cultural isolation, mixing of cultural forms, or cultural erasure. Hybridization of culture implies means what? What does that means कि आप culture को, एक culture को दूसरे culture से mix कर रहे हो? What does that means? Mixing of cultural forms. Very easy one. Question number 36. Which of these following is an ideological state apparatus? क्या होता है ideological state apparatus? Police, judiciary, education, military. How does that becomes an ideological state apparatus? How does it becomes? It becomes through education. एक education ही है जिससे we can transform the entire ideas. Okay. Now, late capitalism primarily influenced culture through what? Decline of ideology, commodification of experience, elimination of class, cultural autonomy. Late capitalism primarily influences culture through decline of ideology, commodification of experience, or elimination of class, or cultural autonomy. How does it defines? It is commodification of experience. Now the next question is that, it is option. Raymond Williams' statement culture is ordinary implies that culture exists only in elite art forms. Everyday practices shape cultural meaning. Culture reflects lived social experiences, and culture is detached from the material conditions. Very easy one. It's 2 and 3 because we just have done the basis on that. Everyday practices and it reflects the lived social experiences. Because Williams reject elitism and emphasizes culture as a part of everyday rooted in lived experiences. Now moving forward to the next question, question number 39. Stuart Hall argues that representation mirrors reality directly. produces meaning through language and signs. Representation is influenced by power relations or ideological neutral. Off to you, sir. Sir? Who is sir? Thank you, the North. Literally, I have to work on that. Question number 39. The answer is B. Produces meaning through language and signs and is influenced by power relations, right? So whenever you talk about Stuart Hall, argues that representation always, it produces meaning through what? It produces meaning through the language or the signs, and it is also influenced by power relations, right? So you have to be very particular about the words. And he's also, as we just say, it is shaped by ideology and power and not the neutrality. Okay, now moving forward to the next question. The concept of cultural hegemony suggests that dominance is maintained through consent. Cultural plays a central role in power structures. Force is the only method of control, and ideology becomes normalized. Which is the correct option? Kindly choose. The correct option is that 1, 2, and 4. We have already known that cultural hegemony does not done without the consent. So yeah, this is correct. And it does play a central role whenever there is a political structure he or she will be leading. And then ideology becomes normalized. Force is not the only method of control, and that's what hegemony talks about. आप खुद का consent देते हैं, बिना कंसेंट का कोई आपसे फोर्स बोलता है कि हमें फोर्स, हमें तलवार और धारा की ज़रूरत नहीं है, हम अपने आइडियाज से रूल कर सकते हैं. एंड दैट व्हाट इट टॉक्स अबाउट. जस्ट यू, वी जस्ट नीड अ कंसेंट आउट ऑफ इट. ओके, सो एज ही से consent based dominance where ideology becomes the common sense, and the when we think that this is normal, the moment we are thinking this is normal, and that's where our consent plays a role. And here you have to be very particular about it. Now moving forward to the next question. According to Louis Althusser, ideology functions because individuals are interpolated as subjects. Ideology operates unconsciously. Ideology reflects absolute truth. Institutions transmit ideology. What is the correct option? According to Louis Althusser, the correct option is A, correct. Why? Because we know individuals are interpolated as subjects, ideology operates unconsciously, and it does not reflect the truth, absolute truth, and institution plays an important role to transmit ideology. What will be the institution? Institution will be schools, institution will be media, and institution will be Instagram, institution will be YouTube, and you just name it and that will be your institution. Okay, like see, it works subtly by shaping individual as a subjects for institution like school, media, and whatnot. You just think of it and it will be happening. Moving forward to question number 42. Which of the following statements about the mass culture are correct? It produced for mass consumption, it challenges capitalist ideology consistently, it is commercially driven, it relies heavily on media dissemination. Now you have to choose the correct option, that which of the following statements are true about mass culture. The correct answer is 1, 3, 4. Yes, mass culture is market driven, media driven, and it's not necessarily resistant. Okay. Moving forward to question number 43. Frederick Jameson associates postmodern culture with pastiche instead of parody, depthlessness of meaning, cultural residence to capitalism, and commodification of culture. What does that mean? And I have explain this postmodern in detail. If you have time, you can go and watch that is like complete in one video, and you will understand all the works and why the writers, why the novelists were writing on the particular themes. I've explained all the themes, I've explained the characteristics, I've explained the literary themes. So go and watch that if you have time. If you don't have, just go for the PYQ. That would be great for you. So the options are 1, 2 and 4. Cultural resistance to capitalism, no, that's a big no. Why? Because it reflects late capitalism through surface level aesthetics and the commodified culture. Moving forward to question number 44. Subculture is best understood as a form of cultural resistance, a homogeneous cultural identity, a deviation from dominant norms, a reinforcement of elite culture. Subculture is best understood as what? It is 1 and 3. A form of cultural resistance and a deviation from the dominant norms. It is not about the homogeneous identity. They are not talking about the identity, and this is not the reinforcement of the cultural elite culture. Okay, and it does resist the dominant values and create alternative identities, not the homogeneous ones. Okay. Question number 45. Cultural materialism emphasizes literature as historical situated power relation embedded in texts, universal moral truth, socio-economic context. Ma'am, you sound very articulating on when you speak English. Just a minute. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jagrati. Now for give your answer for question number 45. It's A, 1, 2 and 4. We have just done like this type of question. So it is not the universal moral truths. Okay. It links texts with history, power and material condition. Now moving forward to the next question number 46. The term popular culture suggests it emerges from people lived experiences. It's always ideological, subversive. It shaped by market forces. It exists outside power relation. I'll be doing the same question again so that it will be impacted on your brain, so that in examination, if any question heads out from this particular topic, you get to know what it is all about. See, you have to understand the very basic core of what culture means, from where it has originated, why it is impacting the lives, how it I think network connection. Nice session and good effort, ma'am. Thank you so much. Did you like the questions? Question number 47. Now we are left with some questions. Question number 47. Michel Foucault links power with what? Knowledge production, surveillance mechanism, centralized authority only, discipline of bodies. Am I audible and visible now? Am I audible and visible now? Okay, fine. Yeah, it is A. 1, 2 and 4. And please read all the works of Michel Foucault. They are UGC NET favorites and their works will definitely come in the chronology. Okay. So power circulates through knowledge, discipline, surveillance and not just the authority. Right. If you are having a camera on your head, how would you behave? Will you be behaving normal? No, nobody can behave normal, and that's what at that time in the work of Michel Foucault, there was a surveillance, power and punishment. there was a surveillance through the prisons. They used to look at what they are doing, and that's how they were having an power in them. So when you are being surveillanced, you won't be able to behave in a normal or a certain way, right? And that's how you show the authority on them. And that's why at all workplace, you will be under the surveillance, right? Question number 48. Cultural homogenization refers to, we just did this question, so we'll be skipping that 1 to 4, and it talks about the similarity while weakening the local distinctiveness. Hybrid culture emerges due to what? It emerges due to global local interaction and the cross-cultural exchange. 1 and 3. Hybrid culture resists from blending global and local cultural elements. Moving forward to question number 50. This would be the last question. Which of the following best defines ideology? We have been talking about ideology. Ideology does this, ideology does that. But what does that mean? Ideology means the invisible system of beliefs, right? You are just believing that invisible system of beliefs, and that is shaping your perception and your social realities. And here we have completed our 50 questions of cultural studies, and I tried my best to tell you about what cultural studies means. It is just not concerned with the topic of English literature or English UGC NET English Paper 2, but it is a whole way of life that is said by them. And it is very important to tell you that if you are reading cultural studies and you're just understanding what culture is, you are going to score. You just have to be particular with some of the writers, with some of the facts and the books name, because obviously this is the national level examination, so you have to be particular with the writers, facts. But the core thing is that if you understand what culture means, if you are understanding how the environment is taking place, how advertisement is having a reflect on you, you are good to go. So do let me know your score out of 50. Very good, 43, that's a decent score. And if you have any doubt, do let me know in the comment section. And if this video cleared your doubt, do not forget to like this video and share with your friends those who are preparing for UGC NET examination, and also do subscribe for more such UGC NET content. And also if you would like any video that I should make the next, because only like few days or few weeks is left. So like today is 29th, so 30th, 31st, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, so like 6 days you have with yourself. If you want any video want to make by me, do put down in the comment section and I will try my best to deliver that. Till then, keep learning, keep shining. Good night. Bye. Thank you so much. Nice explanation. Thank you so much. There. World literature. Okay, fine. So we'll be having our next live with the world literature, Dalit and Indian. See, Indian aesthetics is a very wide topic, and for that you should be having a background of it, because you have to read a lot about all the schools and all the drama and all everything, and that is so deep rooted. I always skip Indian aesthetics, like literally that took it. And for Dalit writing, yes, I can consider that. So world literature and Dalit literature, I'll be doing it, because there are not so many questions. Yeah, they do ask just specific, like for 2 to 3 questions from particularly these topics. Rest you have to focus on British literature, literary theory, literary criticism. These are the 70% of your core of your UGC NET. Other 30% it will be like having 1 question or 2 question like that. Okay. So okay, keep learning, keep shining. Bye bye. Take care. Sign.